Are we ready, Brigadier?
Yes, my lord, I am.
Sorry about the late starting.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you a story. One time when President Mbeki was still the president of this country, there was a function at the Johannesburg City Council. It was on a Friday afternoon, after 5, and he was supposed to deliver a speech there because it was in connection with, I think, the commemoration of the death of Bram Fischer. And the taxis on that day, it was a Friday, there was just a jam. We couldn't move. And Mbeki, president, had to get out of the official vehicle
To walk on foot.
which was parked which was parked somewhere for security reasons, somewhere at the Carlton, and he had to walk from there up to the Joburg City
Yes.
Hall. So I just thought maybe another person would just said, "I bazongilinda, bazofana bangilinda." Okay, we can start. There's something I must announce first. Mr. Ramusipidi, right? I've been going over the records, as all of us are doing. I recall Mr. Mgumezulu, he was acting on behalf of number 2 then, of number 1, is that so?
Yes.
After you had withdrawn.
Yes.
And he said there's going to be a person who is going to give evidence on, if I'm wrong, you must all correct me, who's going to give evidence on his client's behalf
Yes.
to say that Longwe was having a fight with a girlfriend, Zandi,
That is correct, my lord.
and as a result, he had a gun, or a revolver,
Yes.
38, which he, I don't know why, he was going to use against the girl or whatever, but when the deceased was trying to separate them, a bullet went off, and another one went off, and I think one of them, or the third one, shot longer through the chest. You remember that evidence?
Senzo, the deceased through the chest.
Hello?
Shot the deceased Senzo
Yeah.
through the chest. I remember that evidence, my lord.
Now, when I asked Mr. Mgomezulu, which witness is going to say that? What is his name?
Yes.
Remember what he said to me?
Uh,
He doesn't want his name to be divulged
yes, he said for security
for
purposes.
security reasons.
Yes.
I read a case. You can't tell a judge that. I read a case that you are obliged to tell the judge.
Yes.
You don't have to tell the judge publicly. You can approach the judge in chambers,
Chambers.
and you can come with your colleagues, and you can write the name of the supposed mystery witness. And the judge will make an announcement that he has that name, but he's not going to publicize it. But you can't refuse to name that
To that
person, because I'll tell you why. If you refuse, fine, the judge doesn't know who's coming.
Yes.
Is that not a fact?
Yes.
I handled a case actually like that. I was dealing with a matter of Jay Naidu.
Yes, yes, I remember him.
I remember that case. Right, Jay Naidu was being sued by some American company for satellites, blah, blah, blah. The matter was arbitrated in England, and in England, Jay Naidu lost. He was still he was before then the Minister of Telecommunications. He lost because he wanted to set up a satellite aerospace company so that he could service African states through these satellites. And some of the African states apparently got jealous, according to him, and didn't give him the permission to do that. The Americans wanted their money. They had sold him a satellite. They sued him, got a certain amount. They went to England, they arbitrated. He lost the arbitration in England. He came here. Those guys, the Americans, followed him here. They were suing him for the money and to make the arbitration finding in England, or award in England, an order of the court. And I was confronted with that case. his counsel said the same thing. There's going to be a witness who's going to testify, but he doesn't want his identity to be broadcasted or announced because he will be affected. He's a successful businessman. They will think he's not a reliable person because he's going to give evidence which will be detrimental to the case. Yeah. Jane, I do. I remember that case. Then, when I was checking, in that case, I also made an order that the only indulgence I can give you is to write the name. It was represented by senior counsel. Okay, so please tell Mr. Mgomezu.
My Lord, I think for my benefit personally, I'd appreciate the citation of the case that.
No. Tell him what I've said.
Yes, but for my.
I'm not supposed to give counsel advice. You know that.
No, it's not advice.
It is.
The advice is from Mr. Mgomezu. For me, it's the citation.
No, I'll get it to you. But I'm just saying, tell him first because
Yes, I will.
he must know about that. Okay.
All right, thank you, Madam.
Right? Can we start then?
Yes, my lord.
We won't go for tea. We'll just run through right up to 1:30, and your clients will have 30 minutes for lunch. Okay? Is that okay?
As a good player, I'm not sure if it's practical to arrange their meals within.
When do they eat?
They eat between 1 and 2, my lord.
So we want 30 minutes of that time. We can't get it.
I think it's something that will have to be arranged with the
With who?
prison orders.
The court orderly there. He will do that. He says he'll arrange that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, can we start then?
All right, yeah. Just before we start, my lord, we had a discussion with Advocate Nisi and other colleagues about the continued absence of Mr. Mgomezule. Now that the court also mentioned his absence, and we've been wondering what impact it might have, on the fairness of the, of the proceedings, and we are really concerned, my lord, about his continued absence. And we feel that at some point he'll have to come put on record that he agrees that the proceedings may continue in his absence, and as to how he will keep himself abreast of the developments in the case.
But didn't we say that? Didn't Mr. Mnisi say that he will keep himself abreast of the case by perusing some of the proceedings on what? YouTube?
Yes.
Which is not a court record.
Yes.
But then he said again he will request the proceedings which were conducted in his absence, the record of those proceedings, so that he can read them. Didn't he say that?
I think during his initial absence.
Yeah, he said you'd read those, and after reading those, then he'll be able to cross-examine. That's why he requested this court and yourselves that he must cross-examine at the end, although he's accused number 1.
Yes, my recollection was that in the initial stages of Brigadier Gininda's evidence, that's what he said.
Yeah.
But regarding...
Now it doesn't apply to cross-examination.
Yeah, regarding cross-examination, I don't remember him specifically mentioning that.
Mr. Ramsepi, what do you remember, sir?
My Lord, as the court places, my memory as well aligns with Advocate Baloyi, that the arrangement was only for the evidence in chief of Brigadier Gininda.
Yeah.
Especially after the Brigadier had finished evidence relating to accused number 1.
Yeah.
So that we can proceed with evidence of accused number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh.
Mainly for the evidence in chief. Yet for the cross-examination, my Lord, I'm not sure whether that stance was cleared up, whether...
Yeah, he told me. He was saying it in front of you guys who were here in the passage. He's going to request that for cross-examination, he must be accorded the right to obtain a record of the proceedings, and thereafter he will be in a position to cross-examine. And the request was, in the meantime, when he's reading that record. He doesn't want to delay the court. So he's suggesting that he must be given an opportunity that, although in terms of procedure, he's the first one who was cross-examined, but he requests that the court allow him an indulgence so that he cross-examines after accused number 5's counsel. You don't recall that?
I do recall that.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so-
Mr. Nxumalo, awuzange ungizwe ngikhuluma njalo.
Angezwa judge.
Mr. Mnisi.
My lord, let me give an indulgence just to explain a thing or two. It is true that at some point Mr. Mgomezulu actually wrote an email to me, and
Oh, he has changed his mind.
and I think the court's registrar was also CC'd, wherein he requested me to stand in for him up until last week Friday.
Yeah.
That other week Friday,
Okay.
yes, which is when then he made the arrangements that he will be following the proceedings on YouTube, and also he would request that some record be made available for him in order to follow what has been happening in his absence. But subsequent to that, I think my mandate to do that then lapsed on last week Friday. But it is also true, my lord, that today when I arrived here, I raised the issue with my colleague Advocate Nxumalo. Subsequent to the two my colleague Advocate Baloyi also arrived, because it dawned to me that we will keep on representing Mr. Mgomezulu in his absence. We'll keep on requesting one of us to stand him on his behalf. But specifically the mandate that we carry in respect of us standing on behalf of him is a little bit blurred. We don't know whether I've got full mandate in the process to represent accused number 1, or that is just to avoid that the proceedings should not be delayed. Now, I also mentioned to my colleague, my two colleagues, that's now Advocate Baloyi and Advocate Nxumalo, that at some point we basically have to, actually this court must be put in a proper perspective as to what the situation is. Because I'm not even so sure whether today there's any colleague who has been requested by Mr. Mgomezulu to stand in on his behalf. I'm not even so sure.
Therefore, I hear you.
Yes. So we as we were brainstorming, something came amongst us that apparently he's got a candidate attorney. If there's somebody that needs to come and say something or two on behalf of Mr. Mgomezulu and his condition and the way forward with regard to the representation of accused number 1, should be something that be put on record, but that should also come from his practice. The candidate attorney should at least come and tell the court what should then be happening. And the reason why we raised that, my lord, was because in one of the many ways, accused person's legal representative should always be at court when the proceedings are going on. His absence, again, in one of the many ways, necessitates that such proceedings should then be postponed in order to avoid, and I'm saying this, my lord, as an officer of the court, in order to avoid a situation where later on it would be argued that the proceedings against that accused person whose legal representative has not been at court, whilst they were proceeding, they constitute a mistrial against him. So that will be something else, my lord. I don't want to
Yeah, fine, I
mention
hear
what
you.
is it that would be, as it pleases the court, my lord, which is then the reason why we requested that at least we need to be, that position needs to be clarified. And if there is
But it can
anything,
only be clarified
it should
in
be
the
on
presence-
record, my lord.
It can only be clarified in the presence of Mr. Mgomezulu. Are you saying?
Yes, my lord. Alternatively, a proxy from his office.
Yeah.
Thank you, my lord.
Anything you want to add, Mr. Baloyi and Mr. Sibande? Dr. Sibande?
No,
Sorry.
we confirm what Advocate Nisi put on record.
Yeah.
That was the ambit of the discussions.
Yeah. Then I take the point. Mr. Mgomezulu must come to court, even if he's got to be carried, to come and tell us whether he is still acting for accused number 1. Is that not so?
That is correct.
Because number one is endorsing Mr. Mgomezulu's arrangements. But like Mr. Mnisi is saying, I get the feel that Mr. Mgomezulu may not be discussing the very arrangements he makes with this court. Maybe he just knows that the colleagues are representing, and I don't want to say his colleagues because apparently they don't know each other. They're accused before court. So maybe Mr. Mgomezulu must be called, I don't know, tomorrow, to come and tell us what he wants to do. Because people agree, like I was telling you about this case in England, people agree, and then when some things turn out the wrong way or the right way, then they say, no, we didn't understand our rights. You can say that, you know that. Yeah, although we agreed, it's a legal issue this, we didn't understand it. Another clever advocate will come and argue that.
Esiya udaba ke yilo lokulandela mfethu ukuthi ke njengoba sizoqala-ke kodwa-ke abameli umshushisi nabameli bathe ngokukhulumisana-ke ngaphambi kokuthi kuqalwe ukuthi-ke udaba lolu-ke longabi khona kwakhe uMr Mgomezulu ngaba sizoqhubeka kuze kube nini base beyasho-ke noma siyaphakamisa-ke yena u-advocate Mnisi ukuthi-ke kuzodingeka-ke ukuthi uma engezi yena-ke noma-ke kube khona-ke umuntu wesehhovisi lakhe ozayo azosho-ke la enkantolo ukuthi-ke kuzokwenzekani-ke ukuya phambili ngoba-ke ukuthi icala leli liqhubeke abe engekho yena-ke abazi noma bayizwisisi kahle-ke ukuthi-ke wena-ke manje usumele noma ubuvumile-ke ukuthi cha ukutshelile yena ukuthi akangeke abe khona, so basengaqhubeka-ke abanye laba kodwa bathi bayafisa nje ukuthi abe khona nenkantolo yakuvuma-ke lokhu bayafisa ukuthi abe khona azosho ukuthi ukuya phambili kuzokwenzeka kanjani.
Just, Brigadier, when are you finishing your exams?
The 25th of November.
So you're available today and tomorrow?
I'm available today and tomorrow.
And thereafter?
Thereafter, I'm available next week, Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday, I'm not available. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm available. The following week as well, some days I won't be available, but thereafter, they'll not be available, my lord.
But is Mr. Mgomezulu being furnished with a court record? Or are you being furnished with a court record? All of you?
Yes, we do get electronic versions of the
Right,
record,
so
yes.
can't we make an order that he should get the court record relating to his evidence? He wasn't present when you gave your evidence. He was half present.
Yes.
Three-quarter present.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, something to that.
When did you start giving evidence?
Sure, I think October.
The date?
Just have to check my
Yeah, his evidence has been transcribed up to the 18th. I think he started giving evidence around the 10th of...
The 10th of October?
Yeah. Yes, thereabouts.
Yeah, then who will undertake to make a copy of the
So
evidence from the 10th of October
The 1st
up to
of
Friday?
October. I'm sorry, it was on the 1st of October.
1st of October?
Yes.
Okay, the 1st of October.
Yes.
Who volunteers to... Up to today, what's the date today? The 7th.
The 7th.
Yes.
And this must be transmitted to him. You've got his email address today, so that when he comes tomorrow, he mustn't say he doesn't know what has happened in court. I don't know, but he must get it. Whether it's a hard copy or as you guys do it electronically. Hello? Can you do it electronically? Huh? The what? You have the audio. No. I want him to read the evidence from the 1st of October up to the 6th 7th, okay, wait, the 7th, you must even hear the arguments today. The 1st of October up to the 7th of October, is that not so?
Yes.
Can you get a transcript or an audio or an electronic copy? How do you do it? Mr. Hello? Yeah, how do you
Yeah.
do it? You've got it.
I've got them.
Don't you do it through your computer?
Yes, we can forward them to him.
To his computer?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it now. I'm going to go out for about 15 minutes. You can phone him and tell him what I told you, that you want to transmit a copy of the record from the 1st up to the 7th. And that he must come to court tomorrow and come and explain to us, after having consulted with his client, whether he still wants the arrangement which he made with us, that he'll cross-examine after the other counsels have cross-examined, to continue, or whether he is prepared to forego that opportunity for whatever reason.
I'll take the responsibility to phone him.
Should I go out and then you do it?
Yes, I'll do it.
How many hours or days do you need?
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, let's adjourn for 30 minutes. What's the report, Mr. Ngumal?
My Lord, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
The accused, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Just a correction. Brigadier Girinda started testifying on the 17th of October.
17th of October,
Yes.
not the 10th.
No, 17th.
Okay. Yeah, but sorry, my registrar says he gave Mr. Gininda records. As from which date, sir? No. Go and stand there so that they can see you saying it. Now you are whispering. You come and say, hi. Mkunyati le mkhona.
So yes, the records, everything that we have, yes, from the 7th of October, as we started. We only listened last week because I have listened.
So you had a discussion with Mr. Mr. Gomezulu about the record. You. How did you just did it out of the blue?
It's a going precedent that as I receive, I'll share.
Right, so you did it out of your own volition. So you gave him the record as from the 10th, the 7th, up to when?
Up to the 22nd. I'll just need to check.
Yeah, I think that's
22nd.
Okay, so it's not like he's not aware what's happening in court. Well, of course he must read the record, we know that. So what are you saying, Mr. Baloyi?
22nd, yes. Yes, we have the running record up until the 22nd of October.
22nd of October.
Yes, 22nd of October.
Okay.
And my learned friend, Mr. Numalo, will apprise the court that he did indicate that he's following the case on other
YouTube,
media.
YouTube.
Yes,
If you watch YouTube, you can watch it, but it's not a record of these proceedings
yes,
because they have commentators and all that nonsense.
yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Change Mr. Ngoma.
My Lord, about him following the proceedings on YouTube was about today's proceedings.
Yeah.
He said he was listening. He was watching today's proceedings, so he knows what was going on.
It's a client that is a color. So that is this is the problem, you see, because the client agrees that this should happen. Now the persons who are assisting Mr. Mgomezulu are saying, hey, maybe they have a half a mandate, a quarter mandate. Now me, I'm supposed to be neutral. If you're telling me that Mr. Baloyi says his client says it's okay, I take it you have discussed it with your client. Now, if Mr. Baloyi subsequently says he is not certain whether the mandate which he is being given by Mr. Mgomezulu, is it a full mandate or not? Although the client has agreed to that mandate to be extended through to Mr. Mnisi and his colleagues, it may jeopardize the sittings because we are not sure now. So that's why I say it's better for Mr. Mgomezulu to come here tomorrow, even if he's sick.
Yes.
Unless if he can't walk,
Yes.
fine. Then we can arrange a virtual hearing. We can arrange a virtual hearing. Ne?
Yes, but as Mr. Numala will apprise the court, he indicated that he will be here tomorrow.
Okay, fine. Yeah. But Mr. Ngumaru, you have undertaken to send him the records from whichever date up to today?
Yes, my Lord, I do have the record from the 7th of October until the 22nd of October. So I'm going to forward it to him. I've got his email address.
All right.
I see he was also CC'd, my Lord.
Yeah, my registrar says he also send him the record.
I see here on my emails.
Okay, that's all.
Yes.
Yeah, fine. So you can explain, Mr. Interpreter, please just explain what has been transpiring to the gentleman.
Sesibuye okwenzekayo ke njengoba bekuzo u-advocate uNxumalo bezofonela yena uMr Mngomezulu umfoneleke wamtshela ke ngalokho okwenzekayo wabesho ke naye uthi cha njengoba ngihlezi nje noma ngisendlini ngiyakulandela konke okwenzekayo enkantolo uvumeleke nokuthi kusasa uzoba khona ke la azochaza ke lo daba lolu inkantolo kanye nabameli abafisa ukuzwa ke ukuthi ke uqhubeka ubheka phambili kuzokwenzekani futhi ke nama lokho kwenzekayo irekhodi uyalithola unalo futhi ke no uphumile nje ubhuti ke usecretary ushilo ukuthi uyamthumela ke ngayo i-email record yako konke okwenzekayo khona la enkantolo kodwa uzoba khona kusasa azoyichazela yena.
Yes, Mr.
My Lord, may I stress that he did agree that he was going to be here tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow morning. And before I could raise anything, he said he was following the proceedings on YouTube, so he's aware of what is going on.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Uthi ke uyagcizelela ke u-advocate uNxumalo ukuthi ke uvumile uMr Mngomezulu ukuthi uzoba khona kusasa nokuthi ke ubuka uYouTube uyakwazi ke ukuthi uyazi ukuthi kwenzekani ke enkantolo njengamanje.
Okay. Unfortunately, then we'll have to adjourn because I'm in the middle.
Yes. That was also the suggestion of my colleagues, my lord, that we stand down until tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Until Mr. Mngomezulu is here.
Yeah.
Sizoqhubeka ke kusasa makuzofanele silinde yena ke uMr Mngomezulu.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Okay. Sorry about this. So we'll adjourn until tomorrow at 10 then.